So, hello, good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in my apartment. It's like the sun is out, but it's not actually out because it's winter. It's like a winter sun. It's tricky, as if you take a photo, it may look like in the sun, but in actual sense, you're still in winter. It's cold, so don't be deceived if you're new in Denmark and you look out and see the sun as if the sun is out. It's like the winter sun. I think that's what they call it. So good morning. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, I welcome you. For those who have been here with me, I especially my friends from other um, social media platforms, I thank you so much. um Special thanks go to Leila Gontiga. I hope I pronounce it well. You're really a very good, you're really supporting very much. I thank you so much for your support, for taking your time watching my videos, viewing each and everyone, and taking your time to comment. Thank you so much. And everyone who is doing the same, I thank you so much. I also would like to thank the new subscribers. Everybody has subscribed, everybody is liking, commenting, and it's not easy. Take your time and also sacrifice, because time is of essence in everything we do. So I really don't take it for granted. So uh in my video, when I was introducing myself, I talked about having worked in Nigeria and lived in Nigeria for 5 years. So today's video is about that. How and why did I go to Nigeria? And all the details. I talked about a natural mother who is a Nigerian. So actually, this video, I would like to dedicate it to her, to Dr. Bimbolo Dumoto. She's my natural mother. She lives in the UK, basically slash US, because she has a son teaching in Harvard University. So sometimes she's and they have twins, new twins. So sometimes she's there, doing mother-in-law duties. So this video is dedicated to her. She's my natural mother, and basically, let's kick it off. So I don't waste much of your time, especially for Ugandans. I understand data is of the essence. It's true. I don't know why, but it's not easy. So um how does it start? Basically, I just finished campus. I first did the diploma in social works and social administration. Like I mentioned in my introductory video, I have a diploma in social works and social administration, and I also have a degree in the same. So I did finish my diploma in social works and social administration first, and my desire, as always, was to work with NGOs, and of course, the UN, which kind of was like an impossible mission, but who knows? With God, everything is possible. So I did, of course. When if you've been to UCU, we have this internship. So I did internship with different NGOs, and I just remember I had so much clothes. We are four girls in our home. We are seven children. We were seven children, one person. We were three boys. We had three boys and four girls. So definitely, of course, we had so many clothes for the girls. So everybody would just pack them in suitcases and put them aside. But as Grace, being Grace, I always have solutions for things. So I looked at the clothes and I was like, oh, there must be a solution. These clothes can't just be here. And they were all beautiful. My sister is Follow Jolly. For those who know her, I could call her a super designer. She was a model and she really loves fashion. So She always bought all these beautiful clothes, and they were all packed there. We all are fashionistas in the house, all the girls. But I think she goes the extra mile. Yeah. So I just looked at the clothes, and then I was doing internship in Kasese. We originally we are from Rukunjiri, of not even from Rukunjiri. Originally we're from Kawale, and then my grandparents somehow migrated to Rukunjiri. But originally from Kawale, like I said, I'm Mchiga. And my grandmother was Rwandese, so my grandfather and my grandmother met at the board of Katuna, or the board of Uganda and Rwanda, Katuna. So basically, I was talking about the clothes, yeah. So yeah, I was talking. The reason I said Kasese, we're living in Kasese. So my father is a veterinary doctor. He's a doctor. So he was working in Mbarara. We were living in Barra. I was born in Barra. I was born on the way, actually. That would be a story I'll combine with my daughter's birth. But I was born in Barara, Nyamitanga. I think my mom was on the way to the hospital. But I was born on the way. That's why my name is Korojendo. For those who know the meaning, those who come from Uganda understand. So my father was working in Barara, and then we lived in Barara first, and they transferred him to Fort Portal. I think there is that Rubona stock farm. For those who live in Fort Portal who know it, he worked there for some years, and that's why they gave back to my sister. I followed that. That's why she's called Kabatoro. And then next we moved to Kasese. He was transferred to Kasese. You know, if you're a government employee, there's a way they keep transferring you. I don't know if they do it these days, but those days they used to do it a lot. So next they transferred him to Kasese. So we lived in Kasese quite a long time. I think the longest. So yeah, and then I was working with some NGO in as my internship in Kasese. It was called the National Youth Forum, something like that, or Youth Forum Development for the Youth Forum or something development. I've forgotten the name. It's quite long ago, maybe 15 years ago or more. I don't know, or less, but it's quite a long time ago. So I took to them some clothes, and they were really excited, and they could not believe it. So we went to the field and took clothes, and of course we used to have donors because it was a very small NGO. So we had like Save the Children, we had, I think, Care Uganda, and I can't remember the other NGOs, but we had bosses, of course, bigger NGOs. So they Save the Children, they were like, wow, they were like, this is so big. So everything you do, in short, don't do it to be appreciated. Just that small voice, there's a way God can, through the Holy Spirit, can send that small voice tell you do things. This small um uh thing I did to share with other people our clothes just turned my life upside down. My whole life turned, not upside down, but my whole life was was elevated because of just that simple act of kindness. And so basically yeah, they Save the Children, they were like, no, this girl, she's overboard, she's really cool. People do it these days, but those days was rare. So they took my photos, hung them on the Save the Children offices in Kasese. I was all over there giving clothes. All the other NGOs took my photos, and it was like on the billboards. When you enter the NGO, you would see with my clothes, had bags and bags. Most of you will not understand how much clothes we had. Four girls, all love fashion, and just imagine there were so many clothes. Yeah, so there were bags and bags of clothes. Basically, I helped to clear up our room. But everybody did not sit. For them, everybody was like, oh, you're really giving yourself work. But that simple act of kindness turned my life, alleviated my life. So Then basically I became a big deal with the NGOs, and my boss, I thank him so much. I think it was called Mr. Yasin. I can't remember his second name. He told me, Grace, every time you're writing your CV, add this to it, what you did. And I was like, oh my God, this is so disgusting. You know, when you're at campus, you don't want to associate yourself with such things. I was like, oh, really? But I was like, "Ah, anyway, I'll just put it just for just," but in actual sense, I was like, oh God. I just did it for just, first of all, yes, it was, I felt good giving to people, but also my, I don't want to lie, my main objective was to clear our room. So it's just an idea that came. I know it was go through the hospital, but the truth is, to me, it was like clearing the room, and that's just an idea that came in my mind. So, but I just put it there, and then I just went back to university and finished. You know, you do internship before you finish your course, and then next time I now started looking for jobs. And you know, Uganda, those who live in Uganda, you know, it's not easy to get a job. I have people. Ugandans understand, if you have people, you get jobs. I have people, but something told me, don't do people. Don't do that people thing. Because I'm a kind of person who wants to uh, unleash or get to know what my potential. So I like to get to know what I can do and what I can't do, my weaknesses and my strength. I have this a big self esteem, and I just would like to know me and me more. So even if I have people, I don't want, I just wanted to know what can I do as Grace. So I think it's very important. I'm not going to lie, like my sister I follow, she's been working for many years, but it's because of people. And that's my big sister, she also went through the ranks. She works in the bank, but she worked her way through the normal, you know, the normal way. She started with sales, those who have worked in the bank, you know. She worked her way up. But anyway, so I just started. I started attending workshops because I didn't have a job, and then I was what else was I do? Yeah, I started doing attending workshops, and you know, every function event that was developmental, I started attending. So there was this, I don't know, it was sponsored by URA, an event about youth who are jobless or something. There was, and they, that event, they used to say, it was quite long ago, but they used to say that the first 50 people to come will get some money. So I was living with my oldest sister, the one who works in the bank, in Stanbic Bank. And then I told her, oh, Jackie, there's this event and I want to attend. So in the morning, can you help me give me transport? And then she was like, okay. And in the morning, she somehow, I don't know, she could not find her transport in the bag. I woke up so early. I'm an early bird. Those who have worked with me or know me just know, when it comes to work, when it comes to time, when it comes to work, I put in my 100. When it comes to time, I put in my 100. Everything I do, I put in my 100. Those who know me know how I do things. It's not like every time you put in your 100, things will be perfect. No, people, some of you say, oh, but we see, but this is not perfect. Yes, I put in my 100, but not every time you put in your 100, things will be perfect. That's life. That's how life works. The law of life works. There's nothing you can do about it. But it's always good to put in your 100. So next, yeah. So somehow she could not find the money. You know, when you have a bag, sometimes there's a way the money disappears in the bag inside there. So she could not find the money, and then somehow I delayed a bit. And by the time she found the money, by the time I reached the event, I think she could find some money, but big notes. And you know, if you're moving in a Ugandan taxi, you need small notes, because if you have big notes, the conductor will disturb you a bit. So I think she was looking for small notes. So by the time she got them, and I don't think she got the small note, but she just gave me the big note. I think it was 50,000 Uganda shillings. And you know, if you move with the big note, is also disturbing. You first have to find a way to change it to smaller notes. I know you, and people who live in Denmark will be like 50,000. That's a lot of money. No, in Uganda shillings, it's nothing. It's peanuts. So anyway, so and by the time I reached with all this changing of the money, it was really quite late. Actually, I think the event was like 5 minutes to end, but it's the whole point here too is never give up, because I still went, and thank God for that I didn't give up, and I still went, even if the event was 5 minutes late. I was 5 minutes late. I got something bigger than what I was going to do. So when I went to the room, the event was finished. Like I said, it was 5 minutes to for it to end. And then the next room I saw, there was a my like I said, my dream was to work with NGOs, and of course the UN, if God permits. So in the next door I saw a signpost written UNICEF workshop. hmm I was like, Grace, Grace, tuck in your trousers. I can never forget those my check trousers. I love them so much. You know, when you finish university, you have your particular clothes. You There are not so many, so you always remember them. I had this black shirt and checked in trousers I bought from a winner, and they were really really looking posh. I ironed them, I washed them very nice, and they were looking so good and like high class, but they were actually not. But I was very smart and very beautiful. And my hair, everything, I had this wig I bought. I don't know how I was so knowledgeable, because I said to myself, I finished university, so I don't have money to keep changing my hair, but I love looking good. So I used to have this wig I'll put on for special occasions. It was both representable in every place I went. I could go with it to the club if I wanted, to church, or to for work. It was like a multi-purpose wig. So this video should be helpful also for someone out there who has just finished university and you're looking for a job. Don't become too over extravagant. Sit and think. Get all these clothes which are multi-purpose. Get a wig which is multi-purpose if you want to. Get a shoe which is multi-purpose, so you don't start spending anyhow, and when you don't have, you use cut your coat according to your material. So use what you have, the little you have. Don't And make sure it's neat and beautiful. Don't have this dirty shoe and use it as an excuse that I just have one shoe. Make sure it's well kept and everything neat. So I walked into the room, the UNICEF workshop room, and there was so many NGOs, all these PIC, they've changed their name, I think, to PCA. There was CARE, there was Save the Children, there was, very many NGOs, like you've seen their cars around. There was Oxfam. Oh my God, there was, and then I saw a waitress serving, and I said, please excuse me, who is the boss among all these people? Because there was so many. That's typical Grace. I just love the top. That's Grace. I love elegant things. I love the top. I love beautiful things. I love beauty and graceful things. And I don't like being the tail. I like being the top. So I said, who is the topmost boss around are these people? Just imagine I'm jobless. I'm quite young because I just did the diploma and finished. So, and then the waitress was like that lady, the one you see there putting on very red lipstick. I was like, okay, a lady. I actually thought there would be. I was actually hoping it would be a man. I'm sorry to say, most of you will be like, oh, Grace, you're up to something, but no, I'm not up to something, but it's easier for a lady to get a job through a man, to be honest. Minus in other things, leaving other factors constant, genuinely. Mm. So I was kind of scared, but I just said, Grace, be yourself. It's just Grace being Grace. I went to her and I said, she was talking to other people, but somehow, I don't know the confidence. Like I said, I'm overconfident. You know, there's nothing you do that can bring me down. That's Grace, just being Grace. So I went to her and said, excuse me, ma'am, my name is Grace Corrigendro. I just finished a diploma from your university, or from Uganda Christian University. For those who don't know how to introduce yourselves, you can pick a leaf from this. So and I don't have a job. Hmm? She was talking to so many people, excuse me, and she just turned and said, looked at me from head to toe. So that's why I said, everything you do, make sure from head to toe, everything is on point. You never know. And she was like, okay. I was like, oh my god, she's gonna call security. No, she just went to her, she sent someone for her bag. She just told someone, please bring me my bag. I was like, oh my god, I'm finished. What is there? Is there a gun or something? And then she just I was like, what is going to happen to me? She just brought out her business card and she gave it to me. She said, can you please come to my office on Monday? I just went home. The truth is, I'd gotten business cards before. People say, come tomorrow, call me this. It wasn't something new, so my energy levels were still low. But I reached home in the weekend. I told my sister, oh, this is what happened. She was like, Grace, I know you want to go to the club or to dance or to party, but this weekend no party for you. What you have to do is, so I would like also to thank my big sister Jackie Kamahanga. She's really so cool and very supportive. As always, she's always been supportive. She's very selfless as a firstborn, and she puts everyone else in front of her needs. She's called Kamahanga. I've talked about other people's name meanings. She's called Kamahanga because she was born in the north. Like I said, my mom is from the north. She's from Gulu, so she was born in the north. And my grandmother somehow called her Kamahanga. I think it's something which means from another uh place, or amahanga, like those who are Banyakole Bachiga, you understand. I think because my grandmother, she was from the west, she was Randis, and for her it was okay to marry Mchiga, but I think people from the north, they used to call them Amamahanga. So then that's why they call my sister Kamahanga. So anyway, she said today, this weekend's assignment is for you to make sure you pronounce all her names very well. Like I said, she's Nigerian, so the names were very complicated and very long. Yes, my name is long, Corrigendro, but this name was long, and there were three. So she was called Dr. Abimbola Odumuso, and her husband, I've forgotten it, but I had to learn it then. But now, no, the most is her husband's, but there was her own middle name. The way my husband's Wasini, so my name is Grace Corrigendro Wasini. So she had the middle name, but I've forgotten. So after that, I just used the whole weekend to do that. I didn't go party. I stayed home on Monday, very early morning. I woke up and she told me the time to come. She said I should come at 9, but by 7 I was at the gate of UNICEF. I was at the gate, and the first, if those who have been to UNICEF Kampala, Nakasero Road, I don't know if you're still there, but that's what our offices were. And she was like, the first gate, they are like, yeah, there's a first gate, and then there's reception, and then the other receptionist for every cluster. We just call them clusters, like departments in other offices, but these were called clusters. So in UNICEF, so at the entrance, or the from the entrance, everybody was waiting for me. Somehow she had told them the story of a very young, beautiful, graceful girl who is going to, very slim. I was very slim. You know, when you've, don't look at me now, I'm looking all yummy because my husband's taking good care of me. But then I was very slim. Anyway, I'm joking, but for those who have finished school, you know, with so much stress. Like for me, I'll talk about my weight issues some other time, but my weight, in short, comes with being too overly happy, or when I'm not stressed. But it's not about food, or it can be also, now that I'm giving birth to babies, can be baby weight. But on a normal day, my weight minus babies, birthing babies, my weight comes with when I'm not stressed. It's not about food. In fact, when I'm very slim, I eat a lot. I don't know, those who have very slim friends can comply. You may have a very slim friend, but she can eat from morning to evening. She's eating, but there's no weight. I had actually a Nigerian, I would call her sister. She was like that. She was a model in Nigeria. She was actually Miss Nigeria, some runner up Miss Nigerian for some years ago. We were living with her in Lagos. I'll come to that. We were living with her in Nigeria, in my mom's, or my natural mom's house. So she was very slim. Yeah, but she would eat, and not just eat. Those who are live in Nigeria know this agege bread. There was that Elgang one, or for VIPs they used to make in bachelors, because our home, we lived in the city in GRA Keja, and was surrounded by restaurant. There was this place called, I think, bachelors, near Sweet Sensation, in GRA Keja Road. Those who live in Nigeria, Lagos, you know it, will know it. They used to make very nice bread, and the way they will make it, you buy it hot, and they will make it at like in 1 hour. Then everybody will line up, buy it, and then it's finished. That's how it was, but it was so yummy. That girl will buy like five and eat them, and nothing happens to her. And that bread is too carbohydrated, but nothing, her body will not change. So people are different. Anyway, back to our story. So yeah, then I went, the gate man was like, oh, they're expecting you, though you're early. The security, in those are, like I said, I've been to UNICEF. The security, there's so many, and it's so tight. So I went to reception. There was a lady receptionist, maybe three. It's a big organization, so I met, there are always like three receptionists or four. Oh, it depends on the time of the day. Sometimes it's one if others have gone for lunch or breakfast or something. Excuse me. So at reception, they already knew, but they were like, "You've come early, have a seat." And by the time it was approaching 9, they just told me, they sent me to her cluster. She was a chief. She was, those who have worked in with the UN or UNICEF, there are clusters, and all the clusters have chiefs. There's, for example, the wash cluster is water. Wash means water, sanitation and hygiene. So the wash cluster has its chief. The education, there's a chief. There's child health care. There's a chief's. There's the basically there's so many. The way you see the UNICEF building from the lowest building floor to the uppermost, they are all different. They all have different clusters, and they all have different chiefs. Maybe there are about 20 chiefs, I can't remember, or 10, or but not, maybe not less than 10. But there were many departments. IT had a chief. So there were different chiefs and different departments, and all departments had chief, assistant chief, then the admins, and then the officers who also work in the field. So with my diploma, and to be honest, most people employed in UNICEF, the minimum qualification should have at least a master's. So I just went, and yeah, I waited, and then she came downstairs. No, she sent someone, like I said, she had so many assistants, and they brought me up, and she introduced me to officers. I said, this is the grace I told you about. She introduced me to the admins and all the different employees. And everybody was looking at me, okay, and what will she do now? sorry, excuse me. So she asked me, we went and sat in her office quietly, and she asked me, do you know computer, how to use the computer? I was like, I wanted to lie. That's typical Ugandans, they lie a lot. But for me, I'm a kind who would, like I said, I know my strengths and weaknesses, and when I know this is not working, I'll be honest. Sometimes you don't know where it may take you. So I wanted to say yes, but I said, okay, what if they give me the computer? Then what will I do? So I said, no, I don't know computer. And then she said, okay. And she said, um, so what we are going to do, because everything you're supposed to, I want you to do rotates around the computer. So what you're going to do, you're going to start by working 2 days, no, only Saturdays. So it was like employed but unofficially. So she said only Saturdays, and I'll be paying you from my pockets. Every Saturday you get this amount. I was like, oh my God, that amount is just even enough right now. Just give me the amount. So and she said the reason you come Saturdays is because I want you to use your weekdays to go to learn computer. So that amount I give you should be for transport and some computer lessons. Grace, I was thinking of designs, those designs down in a window. Anyway, so but I said to myself, I would just have to do that fast, because I too were like, I really need to, excuse me, to better myself, to improve myself. So I was so happy for this opportunity. So I used my weekdays in Kansanga there, because we used to live in we were not living in Buziga then, we were living in where were we living? Yeah, there's this place before you reach Buziga. I have forgotten the name. After Makindi, over Konge, yeah. We're living in Konge. So I used to just pass. There's this very long road. I've forgotten the name, but I'll find myself in Kansanga. So then I in the cities in the center. Then I just learn computer from there. Then I think after like a month, I think I have 4 weeks. After a month, the truth is I knew Microsoft Word and Excel. So she now said you're going to be working here every day. And then she gave me my own computer. She was traveling to New York, to the headquarters of the UN. She asked me for my documents, my CV. The truth is that I was underqualified, but the way God brings someone into your life to uplift you, only He knows. So may God bring that helper or that special person to uplift you somehow. So she took my documents, and somehow she was traveling to New York at that particular time. Oh my God, I just don't know how God is perfect and too good. So she took my papers. I think the truth is, like I said, the least qualification can be a master's, but I had a diploma. So I think she went and put in a word for me and said, I've worked with her already and she's perfect, all that. But I'm just saying God can bring you a helper. So when she came back, I had this appointment letter. When she came back from the New York, somehow I got this appointment letter and contract, which was just 4 months. I think they just told her we just have to use her for 4 months, and then she just has to go back to school, because to get in line with the UN guidelines and everything. But 4 months was in more than enough money for me to buy my beautiful clothes, shoes, and to also, the truth is, I put a stop to party and concentrated on work, because to be honest, this was more than what I had ever asked for. So my 4 months I saved. She actually, there was a human resource department too. I forgot to say it was at the boss, because in human resource they asked me how I want to use my money. The truth is, it was a lot of money compared to my needs and what I wanted. So I just said, they asked me what I want. I said I want to go back to school to do a bachelor's degree. The reason I did the diploma was because we were, like I said, we're 7 children, and somehow 5 of us were already in the university at the same time. So it was a big burden for my father, even if he was a doctor. But it was a big burden, and I was the, yeah, I was the second youngest of the five in the university. So somehow me and my youngest sister were offered to do diplomas so that he can be able to easily pay our fees, and it's few years. Otherwise it was a big burden for him, because none of us was on government sponsorship. We're all being paid for, and myself being in a private university, maybe the top best private university in Uganda, and they're very expensive. Yeah, those who have been to Ugandan Christian University, it's very expensive. So that was the reason. So basically, when I finished, they asked me, what do you want to use your money for? I said, can you put, I went to the university and got receipts for how much my next semester will cost. If you've been to Uganda University, Uganda Christian University, if you've done a diploma and you passed very well, I had the second class upper, um, um, a second class upper, yeah. If you've done very well like I did, you get 2 years, 2 more years for the degree. But if you've not done so well, you start from scratch, so that's 3 years. So now I have 2 more years to go. So I asked them how much it will cost the university at UCU. They told me how much it will cost. So they somehow UNICEF, I don't know how Mami Abby did it, but I'll ask maybe Mami Abby. I call her Mami Abby now because she's not my natural mom. She's no longer my boss. Many years passed, but Abby is a short for Abimbola, so we just agreed I'll call her Mami Abby because it's easier for me instead of the long name. So somehow they transferred, with her help and UNICEF and Human Resource, they transferred all the money the university would need for everything for the 2 years direct to the account. I know some of you want to be my friend. Sorry, because at the end of the 2 years, somehow I had balance. Yeah, because they sent more amount, because just in case I have to buy some books or some, anything can happen, so you have to be prepared. Yeah, there was also a department of disaster and preparedness, so so you have to be prepared all the time. So I had extra money which I used to party, the money that was remaining. I don't want to lie, I partied with it, and which was good because I was happy. I needed that. I had achieved the mission. I had a good girl. I went to the university. I studied very well. I passed very well, again a second class upper with my degree. And I was like, I felt contented. But cutting the story short, uh at this point my Abby's contract too had ended. She had 2 years in Uganda, and she went back to New York, where she lived for some years. And then and then in the UK, where she was working with Save the Children. At the moment, yeah, she can maybe retired or not, I'm not sure. We don't talk about work. She's more of my mother now, so we talk about more of motherly things, like I'm pregnant. Because like I said, I don't have a mother. My natural mother, my real mom, my blood mom, or my real mom, she passed on. So this is my mother. So she's the one I go to when I want to talk about motherly things, like I'm pregnant, like I've given birth, things like that. That's all we talk about. Don't talk about work, like I'm getting married. I think I'll attach to this video, if I can find the cake. There's a cake I made on my wedding, my wedding cake. For those who have seen it, or if I find it in my phone, I'll attach it. I don't think I can touch it because it's this video is landscape and it's horizontal. At one point maybe I'll show it to you, but I dedicated the cake to her. It's written on my Abby. So she's really been there for me. So talking what else should I talk about? Basically, in the 4 months when I was at UNICEF, I did UNICEF things. We did work. We traveled up country to the Kitgum, the hepatitis. There was hepatitis E. We're all over helping and doing humanitarian work. And then yeah, but how do I go to Nigeria? Yeah, how I got to Nigeria while her contract, I say, ended, and she went back to New York and then to, yeah, UK. While she was away, we kept in touch. Yeah, while I was in school, we kept in touch. When I'd finished like this, I wrote to her and I said, I'm finishing maybe next month or 4 months. And she told me, Grace, my husband runs a event company in Nigeria and would love somebody to come and work with us. you know Somebody to come and, we don't live in Nigeria, so somebody to come and, be there with in our company and help out with the other employees. And then I was like, okay. So that's how. It wasn't easy at that time. There were these Nigerian movies with witchcraft and everything, and people used to fear Nigeria. But for me, I don't fear anything as long as there's that small voice of mine again that tells me, Grace, go. So that voice of mine, of course, the Spirit of God told me, Grace, go. So I told my mother, my father, my mother is still alive, and they said, Grace, everything you do is perfect. Just do what you want. So I just left. I went and I just told them, if I things are not going well, I'll just come back after 1 year, even months. But things went perfectly well. I was well treated. First of all, they picked the company car, picked me from the airport. I had not experienced this before. This was super cool. They picked me from the airport the next morning. They had been went through uh what do they call it? Yeah, she went through everything they do and what I'm going to do with me. Excuse me. Then I'm my boss, whom I call my dad, Nigerian father. Now he sent me the appointment letter with all the conditions, the terms, and everything. And I kicked off work, and it was very interesting. It went on and on. Those who have been to Nigeria know with the events, and this was an event company, were providing sound, lighting for churches, companies, everything. It was big event company. These days I know there's so many event companies, very tiny ones, but those days I think were the giant one, because we were even the ones behind providing most of the services for the Experience Nigeria. Those who know, it is a very huge event in Nigeria, where the ones behind the sound and maybe the lightning. We are the ones behind the sound and lightning of most powerful churches in Nigeria. The Star Christian Center. This one, there's this one I like. What is it called? I've forgotten. But there's also House on the Rock. Of course, House on the Rock is a church behind the Experience Nigeria. But yeah, and all the other big churches, of course, the redeemed churches. There's so many in Nigeria. Every step of the way, there is a church in Nigeria, and most of them are redeemed churches. Yeah, so it was a very good experience with the events and with mommy's siblings. She has about 9 siblings, and they're all doing so well in Nigeria, and they all had, every December was like event after event. Every day there was event after event. The family was so warm, so friendly. I was like part of the big family now, and above all, they all loved God and they were Christians. So I didn't see anything like juju, like you people say. So instead, they were more Christian than even me, or even more than most Ugandans. So they were really very nice. Everything was so warm and so I learned a lot from work. I did a lot in the 5 years, and then I realized the reason I left Nigeria is I realized I was coming. I think I was around 27 now, or coming to 30 almost, and I realized I don't want to marry a Nigerian man. The reason is because while I lived there for 5 years, I dated a few Nigerians here and there, but then I realized that it's not in bad faith, but most Nigerian men, they want a woman to be doing everything. Mo- I know that some are not like that, but for me, from my experience and what I saw, most of the women were doing most of the things, and I really didn't want to be a slave. To me, that's not the life I wanted for myself. I wanted a life where we are partners, we are friends, we are loving each other. That's the kind of person I wanted to marry, not to be a slave, anyone's slave. Because I'm a queen, I wasn't born to suffer or to look at me. There's that card. Is it on that thing? I don't know if it's on Reels or what. There's this where you can say, "Look at me." Uh, just take a look at me. I was not born to suffer. I was born to for enjoyment. So something like that. So I didn't just want that, and I'm sure it's just God. God was just leading me to the right husband, and then I went back to Uganda, and I just yeah, they just sat and said to myself, yeah, welcome to Uganda and start a new life. I'll next time I'll take it from there. There will be a topic about why I worked somewhere and somehow why I changed my uh my how did they call I changed my why I decided to work in another sector. But for now, the reason I also Mami Abby, why we moved from NGO, I think there was a economic crisis sometime in 2010, and most NGOs went bankrupt. There was a lot of situations. So, Mami Abby, we had this talk, and she said, Grace, I think this is a lesson for the young generation, for the young ones, to learn that you have to be versatile. So, to be versatile means you need to learn to do different things. For example, you need to learn to today you can be an engineer. Tomorrow you need to be maybe to be able to do maybe what can I say, teaching. Tomorrow maybe you should be able to do admin work. Tomorrow you should be able to be a secretary, because times have changed. Look at now, content creators are like a big deal. Those days you were like, okay, who is that? Maybe okay, that PR. You should be able to be a PR anytime. You should be able to do, you should be flexible. You should be versatile. You should know a lot. You should learn a lot. So when I come back to Uganda, I come with this different mindset, and I've grown. I've traveled, I've grown, I've traveled, I now know better. So when I came back, I was not going to settle for less, go get a job like a banker or an admin seat, from maybe 6 in the morning to 5 in the night. So that's why now I take on different roles. The next time I'll talk about what I now do when I get to Uganda and why, and of course it wasn't for long that after I came to Uganda. It was, I think, after 2 years or 1 year, then I got married and I came to Uganda, to Nigeria, to Denmark. So then I'll now talk about that period. I think it was 2 years that I come back to Uganda. Yeah, maybe 2015 and then 2016, then 2017 I got married and came to Denmark. So it's about 2 years. So what happens in those 2 years, it will be a topic for another time. So stay tuned. Thanks for subscribing and for everything. If there's anything I forgot, I'll chip it in the other videos. So I just want you to get to know me. I get to know you guys. You can comment, put your own stories, how God has been very good, because this is more than just over. God is just God's work, to be honest. It just starts as a joke and then it's big. I did I even relate how the clothes, giving out clothes was very important, because when Mom Abby sees my CV, I forgot that part. Then she's like, wow, you're even selfless. It's not common to find such people in Uganda. I've been here for 2 years. And the reason she gives me the job, another reason, is because of the she's because remember I told you I kept time on various occasions, or series of occasions, and I also was a hard worker, and I also, so I don't have to explain to you all those. You can automatically see from the events the way they transpire and see the reason she kept me. And she once mentioned, oh my god, are you sure you're Ugandan? Because you're totally different from many Ugandans. I've worked with many Ugandans and they don't work like this. So I'm naturally, I just worked, or I've been an international person. I've been doing my things like an international person, like a person, like the way they should be done. I don't have to look at my boss or wait for my boss to come in to do things. No. Once I'm given an assignment, I put in my whole and get it done, whether you're looking or not. So that's just how I'm. It's just me. So that's why maybe I find it easy to work outside of Uganda. So look at yourself before you start sending me messages. Grace, I want to come to Denmark to work. I want to come to Denmark. Some of you just send messages, I want to come to Denmark. To do what? Ask yourself that question. Everything is not just, some of us did not just reach here by jumping. Like I said, there are steps in life, so you can see everything. I'm saying the way it's flowing. Some are lucky, they just jump, from one country to another. But how are you jumping? You have to be careful. So thanks for watching. I know this video is very long, but it's very, very educative, and it will open someone's mind out there to, there's a lot to learn from this video. Sincere, I don't have to explain too much. I've explained everything in the video. So if there's anything I left out, like I said, I'll be chipping it in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. So hi.